Men, what would you do if a man groped you in front of your wife? Funny enough, I was groped in public when I was in Japan with a Japanese friend. Long story short, some old guy was giving us directions, followed us onto the train and started to feel both me and my friend's junk. Both my friend and I were confused as fuck. And it was on a fairly crowded train. We kept smacking his hand away and he kept trying. Once we got to our stop, we just walked away absolutely shocked that old man had the balls to grab our balls. So I suppose from this story experience, I'd just be flabbergasted and confused. Back in high school, some cunt grabbed my GF's ass purely because he thought I felt threatened by him. Long story short, broken nose, 2 missing teeth, and a fractured jaw. Later, guess who's scared of who? I know I went way too far, but the suspension, bloodied fucked up knuckles, and all the rude comments rumors about me were definitely worth it. I had just realized the question says if I was the one getting groped now, I would accept the fact that I would be spending a night in jail, because he would be spending a night in the hospital. A man gropes my wife, that's sexual assault and self-defense laws kick in at that point. You are legally able to kick the shit out of the motherfucker. Just don't kill him. As long as you don't end him, it's self-defense in response to your wife being sexually assaulted. Not in front of my wife, but I had a dude, years ago, grab me on the butt in a club. I wasn't impressed and spun around and glared at him. He then laughed and said, "Oh, you like that?" and cupped my junk. My reaction was to jump backwards, but my hand groped his throat while I told him to fuck off. I feel my reaction would be the same now, if I was with my wife. I've been groped by women before. I normally just give them a dirty look and walk away. I would almost definitely do the same to men, although I've never been touched like that by one. I would probably get violent if someone groped my wife or girlfriend though, that would make me a lot angrier for some reason. Had this happened to me at work once. I was working off a ladder and an older coworker touched my ass with multiple fingers, vomiting face, close to my balls. Startled and yelled what the fuck. I was so pissed off and he kind of laughed it off like it was nothing. Managed to avoid working with that closet queen again. Punch Gabe in the arm. Some guys play like this. Yes, it's stupid and immature. But it's just the way it's always been. It's how we mess with each other. Sometimes you just smack a guy on the ass and say good game for no reason. Be incredibly confused because I'm gay. But then realize it's in the 20s, we have a fake relationship to keep from being arrested. We're in a secret gay bar, and she's probably like groping her girlfriend, folded hands, heart. I'm a martial artist, so, first be respectful and tell him to not do it, and if he continues, that he will land on the floor. If he keeps going, well, haragoshi him into the ground. Grab and restrain, get wife to call the cops. It might not stick and go to court, but an accusation of sexual assault will wreak his life for a few months if not years. The said man would likely get a perversion charge. Even though I am not married, I want a spouse who would support me back to the fullest extent. The question implies the reaction would be different if it wasn't in front of the wife. It should not be. What do you expect to hear? My reaction would vary drastically depending on so many factors. Anything from laughing, to leaving, to punching someone in the face. She would be shocked. She certainly doesn't know that touching my privates is an option. No one has touched me in over a year. Be like, haha, holy FK, did you just see that weirdo go for my dick? That was wild. Things I didn't expect to happen in my life. Look at her and have one of those silent expressive eye conversations to see if she wants to take him home for a 3-way. Considering I'm gay, I'd ask my wife where the hell did she come from, and why is she interrupting my moment with this guy? Hit them or shove them off, or both? Realistically, that's what every self-respecting person should do in that instance. Defend myself. Not that a man groped me, but another human put their hands on me, that wasn't asked for. That is battery. I turn to my wife and say that's so FK and hard to do once in a while without having to ask for it. I grope my buddy in front of his GF all the time. She's cool with it. She knows who that ass first. Lol. Put him in an armbar and poke his forehead until he can name 10 reasons that his choices are bad ones. Look him straight in the eyes and grope him back. My wife will be the witness that he started it. In front of my wife makes no difference. If a man grabs my junk, I'm knocking him to the ground. My wife would immediately plead for me to calm down before I even get the chance to react. Lol. I mean, you gotta run your hand through the guy's hair while looking your wife dead in the eye. Report them to the police. What's the relevance of it being in front of my significant other? If I had a man grope me, I might have to fight because that's no cool. Where I come from, look her dead in the eyes and say, "Honey, look, I have options," while groping him back. This happened to my Bill. He punched the guy in the face, and rightly so. It was SA. Probably best if I ignore it. If I do anything I want to, I'll end up in jail. If a man, or anyone, gropes me anywhere, I'll probably kick the shit out them. Are you just gonna let him do that to me? JK, I'd grab his balls and pop him. Context PLS. Who groped you? Do you guys know him? Is he gay STR8? A stranger? I tell him he's got exactly 10 minutes to get his hands off my penis. What do you mean if? Happens every time we hang out with our friends. Doesn't matter who I'm with, the guy's getting socked in the eye. I would be so astonished I had a wife, I would probably wake up. Joke's on him. He's about to discover that my wife has a penis. Probably grab him like a bowling ball and tell him I'm game. Expect my wife to step up and defend my honor. Of course, nothing. My wife would beat his ass before I could react. 9mm rounds tend to solve such a situation effectively. Like he didn't have enough shit to worry about. Fuck. Punch him. Nobody gropes me or anyone around me ever. Dig a grave, because that's where he's gonna end up in. No, it's going down after that. I finna catch a case. Give her the car keys and tell her not to wait up. Turn to the wife and say, "Is it so much to ask?